Hello everyone, welcome back to the vlogs. Today we're doing something very special for today's episode where we're going to be doing a build mod overview on the H6 for the year of 2025. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Ahead of ourselves, I did want to disclose that the H6 just came back from a track day. So this is literally in its most natural and current state of it in 2025, like recently. But yeah, it's freaking covered in brake dust. The car obviously could be a lot cleaner and more put together. It literally still has the track stickers. I haven't even taken it off yet. So yeah, now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into it. So for the way that I wanted to have my car set up, I wanted it to be very low key, like very under the radar. I don't really like loud modifications that make the car like pop out too much. I just wanted to complement how the car came from factory and kind of just enhance it and empower it as a vehicle. I'm just that type of guy to just like simple shit anyway. So I just wanted it to be very, you know, simple. But as for exterior wise, you guys could see that this car is not stock with the kit. We are running a TRD kit all around. Now this isn't your typical TRD kit that you could just buy. This one is directly from Toyota themselves. Like they literally installed it from factory as this. And that's because this isn't a regular GT86 FRS BRZ. This is a special edition TRD. And with these, it came in a limited run. I believe there's only like 1,400 of them and they're only made in North America. Only came in black. It had a TRD stripe on it. Got rid of that shit. But yeah, the main thing is that it came with this cool ass kit, front lip, side skirts, rear diffuser, and this cool 3-piece wing in the back. Not only did it come with a kit, it came with these cool ass Brembos on the car, so I didn't have to worry about having to get a BBK on it. But yeah, the way it came from factory is like damn near perfect. I just wanted to just spice it up a little bit and add a few of the touches without really like taking too much away from how it really is. The things that I just added to the exterior that made it like kind of just personalize it a little bit more were these cross square mirrors. I love these mirrors. Like you'd think that they might be hard to see out of, but they really aren't. Also, I added these. These are an original TRD part. This is the TRD aero fins. And I think it enhances the body lines of the car really well. I think these two paired together are like my favorite thing on the car. Now let's go ahead and get to the meat and potatoes of the build. As you can see, the car looks really low. I like having it low enough where the tire is just like a little bit tucked underneath, but obviously not too low where it can't be functional. Now, the way that the car sits, this is literally exactly how it came from the track like I mentioned before. And literally it rips this low with this ride height, and I didn't really run into any problems or anything with rubbing. Like, I don't even see any like tire splatter on the car. So that kind of just goes to show that I didn't really have any issues with rubbing and anything like that. The coilovers and suspension setup I'm running a Fortune Auto 500 setup. 7K spring rates up front and then 6K in the rear. I am also running RSR rear lower control arms, SPC? Yeah, SPC rear toe arms. But yeah, I did make a video about suspension setups and wheel setups before. Make sure you guys go watch that. It gives really helpful advice on kind of the direction that you want to go to. For this, I feel like it gets the job done very well, but I didn't have to spend too much money to like be able to track it, get it aligned and everything like that. The rears are maxed out, I believe, and it's on the lowest setting on the rear lower control arm, just so it's, you know, low enough. The fronts, I forgot how much room it is, but I just matched it all around pretty much. As for the camber, I'm running -3 up front and -2.5 in the rear. I believe I'm running a little bit of toe in the rear just so it has that straight line, high speed stability. And then might as well on the topic with the suspension, we have our wheels. As for the wheel setup, I am running TE37 SLs. These are in the mag blue colorway. It may look like it's bronze right now because of all the brake dust, but trust me, they're mag blue. These are in the 17 by 9.5 plus 36 spec. This is a squared setup I'm running all around. As for the tires, I am running the Falken RT615K pluses in 255/4017 spec. I've run like 3 sets of these tires. They're literally like the perfect street and track tire that kind of can do both. The best thing is that they're pretty inexpensive and they last decently long. I literally just came back from a track day and it literally did nothing to it. It's just like obviously heat cycled, but other than that, like the tread depth looks the same. For the brake rotors, I am running DBA T2 or D2, whatever. But they're just like their general run-of-the-mill slotted rotors. And as for the brakes, these are Brembos. They came with the car because it's a TRD edition, so that was a big plus. And Project Mu Club Racer track pads, but that's only because I came back from the track. Typically, I wouldn't run these on the street because they're stupid loud. For the front end of the car, it's very simple. Kept the TRD lip. I'm only running an EVS tilt cap courtesy of Steven. He let me borrow this for the track day. Luckily, I didn't have to use it. But I think this is really nice. I definitely want to buy my own because it just adds a really nice pop to the already neutral and dark monochrome color looking car. All right, guys, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the build. Engine modifications. So first off, we got nothing and then nothing. But yeah, I haven't done anything to the engine because one, these engines are known to be a little bit on like the more sensitive and fragile side. I know there's people that run tunes on it, they run turbos and all that stuff. But for me, I think this car is already well powered for what it is. I've already mentioned this. If you want a fast car, like that can do top line, straight line speed, you're looking at the wrong car. People always call these cars slow. Yes, they're kind of right. But for the most part, this car is a momentum car. Look, if you want to become a better driver and really learn the core basics and fundamentals about driving, this is the perfect platform. They're super lightweight, so the handling is insane on it, and it also carries momentum very well because of its lightweight. Once you get higher in the rev ranges, like it literally goes. Like it's not the fastest car in the world, but if you're ripping this around the canyons or the track, like you won't have any problems with it. Like you won't even complain. And the best thing that I like about this car is that if you can drive this car fast around the track, people will respect you more. It's proven that cars like this, the S2000 and the Miata, can literally rip it around the track and keep it up with the big dogs in their Porsches and BMWs, even with low horsepower, but a lightweight, fun-having vehicle. And they cost less than those cars. And you could have as much fun and maybe even more fun in these cars. So sorry for running on a little bit of a tangent, but that's kind of the main reason why I love these cars so much. They're just cars that like you need to prove yourself to become a better driver. Comment another car that's on the market right now that has a Boxer 4 rear-wheel drive coupe manual transmission car. I'll wait. But yeah, I don't really think these cars really need the power. If I want a faster car down the line, I'll just get a faster car. In the meantime, this car has enough power for me to have fun, and as long as I keep it stock, it'll be relatively reliable to me. No need for engine modifications, but I do think getting preventative maintenance mods would be nice, like a oil cooler, so you know, make sure the engine's happy when you're running at 100%. All right guys, now let's go ahead and get into the interior of the car. Now I kept it relatively simple, emphasis on relatively, because I didn't want it to be too crazy. What I'm sitting in right now is a Brit Zeta 3. Now this is a very exquisite and one of my favorite aftermarket bucket seats you can get for the 8.6 chassis. Now the reason why I like this one so much is because it isn't just a typical Zeta 3. This is the Cusco Collab Zeta 3. So these are also very rare. And also, I don't know if you can see it, this is carbon Kevlar. So not alone is it a Cusco seat, but I know the Cusco Kevlar seats are like very rare and like special to none. Like there's literally, I don't think I've seen anyone else with a Cusco Zeta 3 with Kevlar, like really rare. It's relatively comfortable when it comes to bucket seats. It's obviously a bucket seat, so you're not gonna have the most comfort when driving it, but it does make you feel cool and also holds you in when you drive it hard. As for my steering setup, I am running a Nardi 350 Classic steering wheel. I love this steering wheel so much. I feel like this is the best aftermarket steering wheel you can get for your car. You know, it's Nardi. It has a good reputation of good quality and build quality. And, you know, if you look at all like the old best motoring videos with, you know, DK in it and stuff, all of like the cool shop cars have Nardis inside their car. And also all like the cool drift cars in Japan run Nardis inside their car. So it's just like, I guess you could say the heritage of it, and it's a simple design. As for the quick release, this is a Battlecraft quick release. Unfortunately, this one isn't actually mine. I'm borrowing this from Nick, but I do have some people that's willing to sell me theirs, so I'll be actually having one for real. For the hub, I am running a Worksbell short hub just so I can mount the quick release onto it, but the whole interior of the car has JDM black trim pieces. The shifter bezel here, the air vent bezels, the door handles. So pretty much all like the silver trim that comes from factory on this car is all now matte black. I have these aftermarket boots for the shifter and e-brake. These are custom Alcantara shift boots made from Sweetit. And then as for the floor mats, I'm running P2M checkered floor mats. These are like probably the best floor mats you can get for Any car, not even the 8.6, but I love these floor mats a lot. All right, now we're back to exterior. We're gonna go ahead and finish it off with the rear end area. Can't really highlight it here, but I do have this Cusco power pillar brace thingy in the rear. I mainly got it because it looks cool. I don't know if it serves any much of a functional purpose that at least I notice, but yeah, it just looks cool. As for the exhaust setup, I am running a HKS dual res cat lift front pipe along with an ISR single exit catback. This whole wing deck lid right here is OEM, which is really cool. But what I don't find really cool is that these right here, right? You'd think that these two would be just like 3M taped on. And maybe if I get tired of the look, I could switch it up and just remove it. No, Toyota, when they installed this whole shit for some reason, right? They drilled into the chassis. It's just gonna be an exposed hole in the chassis of the car. So yeah, that's kind of the reason why it's gonna stay like this, because I do not wanna have to take it to a body shop. And I don't know how much they're gonna have to paint the car just for it to like fix that hole and stuff. Yeah, I'm not dealing with that. This diffuser, OEM, and then the new vanity. I just went a simple route and did TRD ZN6 because that's just kind of what the car is. But low-key thinking back to it, I wish I did something funny and clever. But it is what it is. It's clean, and you know, sometimes if I forget what car I'm driving, I can just look at the license plate. It tells me right there. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be wrapping up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I just wanted to do a simple walk around and more of like an updated build overview on the 8.6. Since my ownership, I really haven't changed a lot of the car. I just love how simple it came from factory, and it sets it apart because of it being a special edition and having all the OEM TRD parts on it. I don't know, this car's kit reminds me of like the S chassis with the 180SXs and like the S13 hatches, whatever you want to call it. They had an OEM kit from Nissan called the Type X kit. And I feel like this is like the modern rendition of an 180SX with a Type X kit, which is a GT86 with a full TRD kit. At the end of the day, this is probably one of the best cars that were ever made, and the community behind it and you guys for watching these videos allowed me to really embrace it. You know, even though it didn't really treat me well in the beginning, I love this car a lot. And it's changed my life. Like, genuinely, it's changed my life. Yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.